You and I with Rashmi Shetty is a simple attempt of bringing in stories of people you and I can draw inspiration from. Ordinary folks, extraordinary lives. Their uniqueness and individuality that make them interesting to talk to and to listen to. A reaffirmation of the fact, open your eyes wider. The world is far more beautiful when we acknowledge the presence of both you and I.
Our guest today is Bhavana Issar, the founder and CEO of a social venture, Caregiver Saathi, which supports family caregivers as companions for their well-being across a variety of psychosocial needs through coaching, counseling, support groups and training. Passionate and with diverse interests, after her corporate stint in HR, she is today an organization consultant in the areas of change, leadership development and organization building. A motorcyclist, she believes motorcycling has helped her push the boundaries of the body and mind and supports women motorcyclists to realize their dreams. Hi Bhavana, wonderful meeting you and welcome to You and I with Rashmi Shetty.
How lovely to be here. Thank you, Rashmi.
Bhavana, I love the work that you do. I love the impact that you're creating thanks to Caregiver Saathi. What is really intriguing me is, where did Bhavana begin her journey? How long back can you take us?
Very often I would talk about myself as somebody who was wearing multiple hats or had multiple sides to her. Caregiver Saathi is just one part of who I am. But it increasingly feels like the coming together of many other seemingly disparate parts that were me some time ago. So very often I would introduce myself as someone who was an organization consultant, somebody who was in her heart at least an activist, a dreamer, a learner, and an adventurer. I wanted to start something that would create social impact. It did motivate me. I wasn't very sure or very clear whether I knew what and how when I was younger. And over a period of time, my motorcycle riding became a very big part of my identity. Of late, Caregiver Saathi is center stage, but I do think that who I am is significantly contributed by everything, every experience of mine, every interest of mine, everything that I have poked my nose into. So where do I start? I think a good place to start would be the point at which I kind of made a few significant life decisions. And maybe we can build this along the way because this is an unusual question and maybe stuff will emerge. Bear with me as I go through this. I think a significant point in my life was the Buddha Purnima of 2011, where a friend of mine suggested that I meditate under the Buddha Purnima's moon and seek guidance for what is it that I want to do. And I had been hugely influenced by Randy Pausch's last lecture and chasing childhood dreams. And one of the things that I am recently very aware of is the fact that I was very present to the idea that life is ephemeral and it can come to an end and we don't know how long any one of us has. And my dad had died at the age of 54, and somehow that number has had a very significant influence, meaning for me. Maybe I got many death certificates made, and I had to mention 54 every time. Or if someone would ask, they would often ask, so how old was your dad? And one ended up saying 54. So, somewhere that number stuck. And I think I was very afraid of dying without having realized my dream. And being in the regular corporate world wasn't satisfying enough. It can be, it is to many people, and I think that's great. A big part of who I am is that I'm a very restless person. So, because I'm a very restless person, I'm not easily satisfied, I'm not easily stable. I wanted to find that one thing which would find me an anchor and make me feel like, okay, this is what I want to do. So Buddha Purnima, Randy Posh, and my mentor who asked me this question, so my mentor Raghu Ananthanarayan asked me this question saying, how will you lead a dharmic life? And one of the ways of defining dharmic life would be if you can go beyond your personal suffering and make a difference to the world. And each one of us has our own personal suffering. And for the longest, I thought that I am poorer for the fact that I don't have an ancestral home as well. My grandparents relocated at the time of partition. So we don't have a village to go back to and make a difference to. So what can I really do with all my education and profession? And so much like Ikigai, coming together of my education, my professional experience, and my life experience of being a caregiver, or being a caregiver to a caregiver, my mother who was the primary caregiver to my father, I thought that maybe setting up an organization that supported the needs of family caregivers would be an amalgamation of all of this. So that's what led to where I am. And it helped being a motorcyclist because when you're a motorcyclist, you're willing to go to uncharted terrain.
Wow, this is beautiful. And how did you get into becoming a motorcyclist, Bhavana? Any particular inspiration, or that is again the restless mind of Bhavana that pulled her into that direction? Because that's like a dare, right?
So that story has been written about in the book Touch the Sky by Rashmi Bansal, and she speaks about my motorcycling story. And to summarize the story, I come from a family where I was lucky to not have gender discrimination. I was lucky to be brought up in a world where I could do anything that, and it wasn't a function of my gender. So my father had a scooter and he had a Bajaj Chetak. And one of the rites of passage of becoming an adult was getting access to his scooter. So it was a big deal to turn 16 and get the learning license and the learner's license, and then, be able to take his scooter. And he was a Fauji, so, he insisted that I should know how to repair the scooter and I should be able to kickstart the scooter and be able to get the license, etc. And it was a big deal because I was the elder sibling. I have a younger brother, and I would get the license before he would. Unusual for our times, and unusual, I think, in homes where there are boys and girls. Usually boys get that access. For me, I took it for granted. That's how it was. I was the elder one. I was first in line, so I just got it. So I used to ride my dad's scooter. And I used to, when I was in college in Delhi, it was unusual, but it used to give me a thrill, So I was that young girl in the building who used to ride the scooter. And it was very helpful to go to the university campus and do my extra NIIT classes. It kind of got me around faster than DTC buses. It was also more safe than DTC buses. So, of course, there would be boys on the road who would try and unnerve you while you were driving if they knew a girl is driving. And I didn't think much of it. The fact that I could ride a two-wheeler. And that led me to XLRI Jamshedpur. And in XLRI Jamshedpur, our beautiful campus was in a place which was far from the shopping area. And, the auto rickshaws were prohibitively expensive. So either you were mindfully going or, there were some boys on the campus who would have motorcycles. And, you could ask them and they could take you. And my thing was that I don't want anybody to take me. I will just give me your bike. I can take my bike. If you can lend me your bike, I'm good. I don't want to be pillion. And, bike riders are a little possessive about their motorcycles.
Bikes,
especially young men for whom this would have been, an opportunity.
Yeah.
So, but I was lucky to have a couple very good friends who indulged me and who said, "Acha chal, you can take our bike." And that's when I used to take the motorcycle. So, up until now, it was scooters. So I was like, if I can ride a scooter, which I can kickstart, not too hard, right? I can get onto a bike as well. And so I used to ride the bikes borrowed. And there I discovered that I used to get a slightly different joy. And it was a stress reliever, and it just felt very nice to be on a bike. And even so, I didn't really think of it like motorcycling can be a hobby. It was just functional. Many years later, my brother had to go to an MBA college, and I told him, I said, if you take your bike along with you, you will only be charting women from one place to the other. You will not be able to study. So you should leave your bike for me.
And he did?
And he did.
Okay.
So, I was able to convince him that, in order for him to have to focus and study, he should not take his bike and I should take the bike instead. And I was working at that time. And I was in Hyderabad. I had his bike, which I used to take to work, which was quite a conversation at the workplace. And, like Hyderabad, so my security guards would come up to me and say, "Madam, aapko bhari nahi lagta hai?"
Which bike was this that you had?
So this was a Hero Honda Splendor because, like a good middle class and functional motorcycle. I wanted one that was just efficient, and so it was petrol efficient. And I used to have my Hero Honda Splendor in Hyderabad, and that was fun. But then I grew out of it in the sense like, one had a little more money so one could buy a car. And the bike fell by the wayside, and it wasn't a hobby that I had given much thought. Many, many years later, we were in Goa for a holiday, and we hired a bike, my husband and I, and we just got thinking, we both enjoy motorcycles. We can now afford to have a motorcycle. So why don't we get a motorcycle? It'll be fun. And so for my 39th birthday, he bought me Thunderbird. That was the beginning of a whole new chapter that led to me getting in touch with the women biker group. By now, motorcycling was more popular. There were these groups that you could join together. Thanks to the internet, one could get in touch with many more people with common interests. So that led to meeting some incredible women motorcyclists. That led to our expedition to Mana Pass and many other things. I made some incredible friends. That just opened a whole new chapter, whole new identity for me.
Okay. Sometime back, you likened life's journey to that of biking expeditions. So, if you take biking expeditions as a metaphor, where do you see the likeness? Because life's journey, like you said, I could actually visualize you on a bike and you in life, and see how there are some meandering passes which seem so really scary from a distance, but when you get in there, it could be a different journey. So, what have those biking expeditions taught you, which you have applied to life? Have there been moments where you could find the similarities and applications?
Many.
Okay.
So let's see where we can begin. Okay, the first one is that a good motorcyclist takes care of their vehicle, almost loves them.
Yeah.
The second is that you are mindful of safety gear. So you do take risks, but you also take safety precautions. So you do wear your knee guards and your jackets and your helmets, and you are mindful. And you do go off the beaten path and you go off road, so to speak. And riding in groups requires a lot of discipline. So there is a lot of respect for the other riders. There is a certain camaraderie, and there is discipline. So discipline means that you are mindful of the order, the sequence in which you will ride, the fact that you will be mindful of who your teammates are. You will take everyone along. There are some unwritten codes in motorcycle riding, and which is why there is that whole idea of brotherhood, which is a non-gender thing.
Yeah.
But motorcycle riding is that. But when you go individually, for example, then you kind of, it helps to think through where you're going. But if you haven't thought through where you're going, or what is the path that you're going to be taking, then it helps to rely on your belief and your skills and your ability to seek help. Very often people would ask me that, what if your bike broke down? And yes, of course, my bike could break down, just like it could break down for any man. What would you do? You would seek the help of people around you. And that's okay. And I think that's true for life. You might be on a path where you don't know. And people are very nice. This world is full of lovely people. And you could break down. Your system could not work. But people are more people are willing to help you than people willing to cheat you or fraud you. And you do encounter strange experiences, and you do encounter people who disappoint you. And you do fall off your bike. But that was another major experience that I had. You can't go on an expedition thinking I will never fall off the bike. You will fall off the bike. How much ever skillful rider you are. So be prepared to fall off and get back on. And you will hurt. So there is no saving yourself from the fall and the hurt. And it happened with me. We were 7 of us, and 3 of the riders were ahead of me and 3 significantly behind. And we were on this terrain which was really rocky because it was above the tree line. And the oxygen levels were also much low. Yeah. And we I had the jacket, helmet and everything. And I fell because we were literally riding on boulders. And there was nobody in sight. And the only thing I could do was wait till I got my energy up and get back on the ride. So I think that's a metaphor for life as well, which is that there could be times when you fall off your bike and there is no help in sight. You just catch your breath and get back on.
Yeah.
That's it.
That was beautiful, Bhavna. That was amazing. In fact, when you said that, the only thing that came to my mind was that falling down is natural in life, but getting up makes all the difference. And it seemed like biking has taught you that very beautifully. And you shared it very articulately with that example. So my question to you now is, this is getting a little too addictive for me, you as a biker, but I can see the huge metaphor and why you use that as a metaphor for life. Were there certain things that you took for granted which suddenly opened your eyes towards like, oh my God, this is a gift. I need to be more careful about how I use it, or I should not take this for granted. It's a blessing, in fact. Were there any of those aha moments on your rides?
So this is a tough question, but I'm going to go with it because I have the biker spirit. And this is off-road, so,
yes.
Right?
High-five.
I started by saying that I think I took my, the environment in my home for granted. I just assumed that that's how it is, and that's how the whole world should be, because why should my gender come in the way of who I am and what I should do? I found that more often than not, among motorcyclists, there's a very little gender divide. There tends to be a bias, that is true. Very often you will find that people will say, oh, woman rider, or, woman driver. But it is significantly lesser among people who are motorcyclists. But let's not stereotype and let's not broad brush. So the other thing that I think I took for granted and motorcycling taught me was that you cannot jump into something without equipping yourself. My father insisted that I kickstart his blessed scooter till I got that right. And today you have auto ignition, but that auto ignition can go bad.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I can kickstart my bike. Yeah. And there's a little joke between me and my daughter that I can kickstart my bike, but sometimes my husband can't. So, so I think being fundamentally prepared is something that I kind of took for granted, which was a part of my bringing up. My dad insisted that it used to irritate me, but he insisted, take the scooter off the stand, put it back on. Take it off the stand, put it back on. I mean, very foggy training. But it held me in good stead because it kind of made me comfortable with the weight of the bike. I kind of took it for granted that I could navigate that heavy vehicle. But it's something that the motorcycling kind of precipitated in my thinking. There are a few other things that I think motorcycling brings out, which is, when you go out, you get ready for it. It's almost like going for war. You kind of put on your jacket and dress up and you wear your helmet. And there's a little ritual to it. I think when you want to go on a journey, it's helpful to have a little ritual and it's helpful to have a little preparation time where you kind of bring all your senses to that one activity that you're going to be doing. Mm-hmm. So, and be okay with that, okay, I might be faced with surprises and there will be instances that I might fall down, etc. But it's good to do your checks, right? Is your oil okay? Is your petrol okay? Is your bike working well, etc., etc.? Do you have all the things before you go? And you can still be surprised.
Yes.
So I think motorcycling teaches you to be well prepared as much as be ready for surprises, which is a life lesson.
Yes, definitely it is. And do you still go on biking expeditions, as in not in the last 1.5 years, but are you still part of groups?
I'm nursing a dream to go for a long one as soon as this thing is
I'm
over.
touching wood, nice and strong, that should come true very soon.
Yes, please do. I can't die before that.
You will not. The universe has heard you.
Yes, it has to happen. So.
Yes.
Few things have to happen before I die. I have to be able to wear all my saris, and I have to be able to do some of these expeditions. So, yeah.
Yes. And moving back to where you took us, I loved the visualization of the meditation on Buddha Purnima. And from there, how has your journey been and what happened? Did something stir in you after that meditation? Did it help you alter? Did it help you stabilize, center? What happened? Because that is something that we left at the meditation point and moved on.
So nothing dramatic. Actually, it was quite underwhelming. It was like, oh, okay, but nothing happened. So I think I probably just got a little clue. So the clue was that, okay, I'm not too sure what I want to do, but I do know what I don't want to do. So I do want to chase my childhood dreams, and I do want to list all the things that I want to do before I die. And it's not like a bucket list, but here's what will give me the gratification that I have lived the life that I want to. And I think a lot of people do that much ahead. They live the lives that they want to. In my case, it wasn't so for whatever reasons. I didn't necessarily live for myself. And so it was an opportunity for me to say, okay, I'm going to do what I want to do, and I can make that choice today. If I am, I tend to be very involved in what I do. So if I am going to be a full-time employee with an organization, it's hard for me to do anything else. A lot of people do a very good job with that. They do many other things. But for me, that didn't work. So for me, it was important to say, I'd rather be an organization consultant that had the choice of the organizations that I was working in, that had the choice of the kind of assignments I was doing, because this is something that I have liked doing. I have a skill in it also, gets me the bread and butter. So, but this is what I want to do, and this much. But I do want to do I do want to indulge in my hobbies, and I do want to figure out what this is. So it was at that time just, let's figure out what this is. And I'm willing to deviate, make mistakes, etc. So that led to saying that one of the biggest things that I wanted to do was to honor the memory of my dad and our experience. So the natural next step was, he had a very rare neurological condition. So can I do something for people who are similarly affected? And that led to this whole page around multiple system atrophy. And I wasn't very close to his particular condition. And my mother was the primary caregiver. And one day on our page, which was a Facebook page at that time, we got a question saying, are you talking about multiple system atrophy, or are you talking about multiple sclerosis? Because the two are very different. And that led me to think that while I am talking about multiple system atrophy, perhaps it is not important to talk about the disease per se. Perhaps the common denominator across multiple such conditions is the family caregiver. I am more close to the caregiving experience than the disease itself. And that is what is really missing in our system, because there isn't a support system for the caregiver. So maybe we can broad base what we are looking at. And maybe what we can do is look at this entity, which is the caregiver, and say, okay, the disease is taken care of, but what about the rest of their lives? And that's where the idea of research around caregivers, their needs, how is it different in the West versus what's going on in our country, what's our history, what are our sensibilities, came about. So for a significant period from 2011 to about 15, 16, I was literally marinating in the material and reading as much as I can, dipping into life experiences of people, etc., and making meaning of it. And it was only around 2017 I started talking to people like, what would this look like? And people gave me feedback, and every conversation helped refine the idea. And then one day my friend told me, my classmate, she said, तुम बस बातें ही करती रहना, कुछ करना मत. And that just hurt me. Like, okay, let's just do something now. Maybe we will not have the perfect answer, but maybe we will have something. So that's when in 2018, on my mom's birthday, I announced the website and said, okay, this is what Caregiver Saathi is, and this is what we will be doing, and blah, blah. And obviously, with every passing day, the idea or the concept has evolved, and the concept has gotten sharper. It was never so clear. It still isn't very clear. We are still figuring out a bunch of things, but we've come a long way.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you, Bhavana. Caregivers don't have a common space. And, it was a conference of making people inclusive and the society inclusive. It's called the India Inclusion Summit that I had gone to. And I met up with a caregiver there whose brother was on stage for some achievement. And at that point, when she said that she's a yoga instructor herself, and she said when my brother was in Bombay, there was no problem having a caregiver with him. But now he's 35 and he needs to be carried. And to get a caregiver in Bangalore is such a big task. And so as on date, I'm doing it. My husband does it when he's around, but it's very tough. And she had tears in her eyes. And at that time, I was like, oh my God, this is one community that nobody's talking about.
I'd like to point out something. But in this case, the example that you're talking about is a professional caregiver. What she doesn't recognize is that she's a caregiver.
Yes.
And I would like to point out that at Caregiver Saathi, we want to work with the family caregiver. Because very often family members don't see themselves as caregivers.
No, exactly. Like when she had tears saying, I don't know who to go and share this with. I teach people de-stressing with yoga, but I don't have a space which is safe enough for me to go share this. And I feel that is something which nobody thinks about. And while I came back home on my entire journey, I was only thinking, that's so true. And that's why you appeal to me on LinkedIn, because I think that name immediately resonated, because at the back of my mind, this was on that where do such caregivers go? And you're very clear that when family does it, many of the times family doesn't even recognize it that way. Yeah, and you're very right. Yeah,
that's the socio-cultural context, which is deeper in India. It's true for around the world, where certain things are expected from family, and in India it is deeper. And of course, there is the gender dynamic too.
Yes. So you said 2018 was when you started Caregiver Saathi. And how has your journey been since? Especially, you said you're still learning, you're still evolving, there is still things happening. When you set out, it is the intent with which you put it out there and the backing of all that you had read behind, which helped you. But you needed just one small impetus. Your friend said that, and it started action and it started getting into motion. But when you set out on the journey, were there some kind of a feedback that you got from people around or people you didn't know who said that this is something that we really wanted, it is so timely? Or any such things which you got as feedback which said that yes, this is working, this is resonating with people? What kept you going?
Actually, I got more feedback that what I'm thinking is a pie in the sky, and what I'm thinking of is impractical, and I am living in a utopian world, and that I don't have my feet on the ground, and that on many occasions, a lot of people ask me, so, okay, you want to do this, how will you make money? And I'm not from the development sector, and I don't understand the world of philanthropy and donations. And I was very often asked that, okay, so what will you really do? Okay, so you want to support caregivers, but how? I think the curiosity and even in their desire to help, and people who are probably far more pragmatic than I am would often ask me, so tell us a few things. So, be crisp. Don't tell us the full story, which I haven't still figured out very well. But what do you want to do? What are the 3 things how will you help the caregivers? What can you do to help the caregivers? The second thing they would say is, so how will you make money? Who will give you the money? And why? And I have to say that these are questions that I didn't have answers to. I don't have very clear answers sometimes, even today. And despite being called utopian activist, impractical, not practical, pragmatic enough, my view very strongly was that we will figure it out. But just because I don't have the answer right now doesn't mean it's not a problem to be solved. So we had to do a lot of things to just figure out what this universe is. Like my mother often says, you were just simply plowing the ground, right? Because it was an not so fertile land, let's just say, not so ready. And I was not being a classic entrepreneur. So one of the things, what does a good entrepreneur do? And I was, this was a question to meditate on. And one of the things that came up for me was a good entrepreneur is one who is able to recognize a market opportunity, who is able to get a market product fit, which means that people recognize that they need something. And you have a product or a service that meets that need. And here I was, plowing around, trying to create a need that wasn't necessarily well articulated, well precipitated, and adequately understood. And yet I was going about it in a very bumblebee kind of a way. You know the story about the bumblebees, right? So bumblebees aerodynamically should not be able to fly given their huge bottoms and small wings, but they do for the simple reason that they don't know aerodynamics. So I relate with the bumblebee, not just physically, but even otherwise. I think I was going about my work like that, and there wasn't adequate, and so we charted a path for ourselves, saying that okay, plowing and seeding the thoughts would mean creating awareness and talking to various communities, getting a hang of, what are the hospitals doing in this area, and who are the influencers, and who are the affected parties, and what are people thinking, etc. So it was really ab initio, because although there is some work around this in some of the Western economies, it is very different given the socio-cultural context in India and the state of the gender dynamics in India. And a typical venture would require you to think backwards from where will the money come from. And for that, I'm grateful to my grandmother. She used to say that, people who have a lot of money tend to have small hearts. So if we have to retain our heart and our care and compassion, then we have to stop worrying about money. And if you look at our Indic wisdom also, if you run after Lakshmi, she runs faster away. But if you don't run after Lakshmi, if you go for Saraswati, or if you go for Parvati, whatever, Lakshmi follows. And that's the right path. I hope Lakshmi will follow. I live in that hope. I'm building the case. I hope you are listening to me, Goddess. Or not listening, and you will just follow. Because the pragmatic view is also true that you do need finances and you do need money to create scale and impact of a certain order. It is not sustainable. I do stay up late at nights worrying about where I will get the money to pay the salaries that I have to pay. And one can't rely on just donations. One has to have a sustainable method.
Yes.
And so that's a conundrum to be cracked, and that's a problem to be solved. And I hope that members of your audience will join the movement and give us suggestions and help us build a sustainable model that can help us figure out how is it that we can build a caring, compassionate, sustainable, financially viable organization without necessarily running after money.
I'm into that, Bhavana. But in the last 1.5 years, everything took a back step, and caregiving somewhere came to the forefront. Has anything shifted in the thought process of people you're interacting with towards caregiving and caregivers in particular?
So you're absolutely right. The silver lining, at least for us, and therefore by that extension, I think for humanity as a whole, is the fact that caregiving and caregivers have come front and center into each one of our experiences, our lived experiences. There would be a moment of gloom and doom when I would start my presentations with the sentence saying, we are sitting on a healthcare crisis and it's going to blow up in our faces. And I used to think I'm so dramatic. But here we are. And earlier I would have to say, imagine this world of a caregiver where a caregiver feels helpless, socially isolated, inadequate, is grappling with feelings of guilt and anger and frustration, and is grappling with mental health challenges. Today, I don't need to say that. Everybody has that experience. I don't need to paint a picture of that experience, for example, right? And the fear of death and the fear of losing people at any point in time is the reality of the family caregiver of someone who is terminally ill. As of 2020, there were approximately 19 crore people with those kind of conditions. But because of COVID, it is more than 1 billion people who now have the similar experience. So I have bittersweet feelings about it, in the sense that it's too big a price for us to pay to learn some of the things that one wanted to do with the organization. But it is what it is. And a dear friend of mine often reminds me, so when I say that, gosh, I just wish we didn't need COVID for people to recognize Caregiver Saathi. And this friend of mine is very kind and gentle, and that's what I think friends are. So he says that, Bhavana, if people are recognizing you now, it's because you have invested enough time to understand this phenomena before, and you're ready for offering something today.
Exactly.
Which is also true. And I accept that. I could have very easily gone down my corporate career and never done anything about this, and never been ready for this today, right?
Yeah.
So today, if there is one organization like Caregiver Saathi in India, there would have been none. So for that, I think that is definitely something.
And
I hesitatingly feel proud of. So.
All the plowing that you did on that field to understand what it is, ask those questions, do the research, do the study, see the value, and just put yourself completely in front. I think that is now paying off, because now the ground is fertile. When you talk, people listen, and the need has come, like in one of the webinars, it was about grief, and she said that in a very rough Mayan translation of tumor is hardened tears. Okay, which I thought was so powerful.
Yeah.
And today it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And caregivers most of the time are not completely unable in front of people who are sick to shed those tears. So where do they go?
Yeah.
And those hardened tears, in fact, impact the caregiver sometime later.
Yeah.
And I think this fertile space you have created is so powerful. So 3 learnings that you've had from life, which you would want to leave us with. 3 learnings.
The first, the universe loves a believer. What that means is, if you have faith and conviction, there is something. I may not have seen the full import of that, but I'm going to hold on to that. So yes, I think that's one thing that I hold on to. The second thing that I hold on to is that people are nicer than they are not. And more people are nicer than they are not. But there is a part of me that is monstrous and devilish as well. I mean, I can be a very difficult and a very demanding or tasking person. And I suppose everyone is not just one type. So, but I think on balance that there is. It can be comforting, caring experience in general with people. The third thing is that it has been my favorite quote, actually. The world has a lot to give. Yeah? So do not approach the ocean with a spoon in your hand.
Wow. Okay. Beautiful. That's beautiful. And I think right there we have the 4-letter word all of us are holding on to with a lot of prayers, called hope.
Yes.
Because just with that statement that the world has so much to give or a lot to give itself shows so much promise.
Yeah.
And I wish, I pray, and I promise my support wherever you need it, to make sure that the world gets whatever it needs now, because I think caregivers are the ones who are most affected with what is happening around.
You spoke about the fact that where do caregivers find safe spaces to speak about the difficult emotions and difficult feelings? And
Yes.
because there is usually, your love for the other person, that you don't want to let the other person down,
Yes.
is why, and because you have a podcast, I wanted to mention that we have a podcast called Caregiver Diaries, in which we collect caregiver stories. And we give an opportunity for caregivers to tell their stories. It's called Caregiver Diaries because imagine a caregiver writing their diary, because a diary is a safe space. You can write anything in it.
Yeah.
And imagine you getting a peek into that diary.
Correct.
And these are anonymous. So you can listen to that story. And you can relate with it or understand it, appreciate it, or share your story without ever sharing your name or your identity. And storytelling, we know, is healing for the storyteller as well as the listener.
Yeah. And any story, Bhavna, you can crisp it as much as possible, but any story that touched you and remains with you or has taken a piece of you?
The one that I most passionately believe in is this. And because this is the one that we are working on, I will tell you. Pre the pandemic, I got to know about a young woman who had lost her husband in very tragic circumstances. He was a corporate employee and a very senior one. And because it was a sudden, absolutely unexpected passing, there were a lot of things to be done. Fortunately for her, a lot of people came forward to help, including the guy's friends. Some of whom who reached out to me to say, will you help her write a resume so that she can get a job? And I said, by all means. But for me, writing the resume is not just that task. So I wanted to get to know her a little better. And we set up a couple of conversations to get to know her. And through that conversations, I realized that very well-meaning friends and family were talking to her and telling her that she needed to pick up a job now that she had small children to look after. And therefore, although she was MBA Finance, and because that was a job that she had done long ago, that's the kind of career that she can pick, probably look at the organization where her husband was working, and that would be the right thing to do. But you know what? This woman had over the years, because of being a trailing spouse, had decided to venture into a business and venture into a business of garments, which she was very, very good at, and she had a knack for. So she had clients that were very, very keen on staying with her. And yet she now had the pragmatic input of go back to where your parents are, pick up a job. Some even suggested you should take a job in a school because you will have time for your children. And in my conversations with her, she told me, I cannot be a school teacher. I'm not good with children. I will die. And I don't think I want to go back to my finance job. But that seems like the most practical thing that I'm being advised to do. Here is the problem with how we look at women who may have lost their partners, and we advise them with our lenses. in our conversations, I realized that she wanted to just pursue her business. She wanted to stay independently. And of course, she was in deep sorrow of having lost the love of her life. Not only did we have to work with her sense of regret and sorrow and whatever, she needed someone who would tell her, you do what you want to do and I will support you. I will be your Saathi. I will be your companion. But you are in charge and you do what you have to do. And I think for all the women and men who are losing their partners in very tragic circumstances, they need to not be given help. We need to get over our savior complexes. We need to tell them that they are in charge and they need to lead the way. And we are here as companions, as Saathis. And that we are holding the safety net. Not that we are going to lead them the way. People have more potential than we give them credit for. People have more capabilities than we recognize them for. So we should just let it blossom. But we should be there should something not work out. So that's what I'd like to say. And, you know, I'm so proud of this woman. She decided to set up her business. And she's living independently. And she's, of course, in deep sorrow. She misses perhaps her partner. But I'm glad that she didn't get pressured into becoming a school teacher or going back to her parents, and is bringing up the children the way that she wants to.
I think it's moments like these that make the cause worth it. And for me, Bhavana, I had read this quote by the Dalai Lama a long time ago, which said that if you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. And I think you are doing it beautiful. God bless you and all the very best in this venture. May all your dreams come true. All the effort of the plowing that you have done.
Thank you.
And may you get the right seeds to put in there. And if they're already there, may you get the right climate to get them all sprouting and making a difference to the world.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bhavana, for your time.
Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you.
With that, we come to the end of this episode of You and I with Rashmi Shetty. Do let us know your feedback and your guest suggestions. Write in to rashmi.thethirdeye@gmail.com. That is rashmi.thirdeye@gmail.com.